Hello and welcome to the 6th edition on News Central TV, coming to you live from our Abuja studios. I'm Neota Ebe, and here are our top stories. U.S. to deport 79 Nigerians accused and convicted of violent and financial crimes. Court denies oral bail to former AGF Malami and son over alleged terrorism financing firearm possession. Islamic State claims responsibility for deadly attack on Niamey Airport. We'll bring you details in a moment. Do stay with us. The United States Department of Homeland Security set to deport about 79 Nigerians tagged as worst of the worst criminals following a renewed crackdown on high-risk foreign nationals under the Trump administration. Those affected, mostly former convicts, were arrested by Immigration and Customs Enforcement as ICE for crimes including manslaughter, rape, robbery, fraud, and drug trafficking. Names on the list include Bernard Oretekor, Boluwaji, Akingunsoye, and others. U.S. officials say the deportations are aimed at protecting public safety. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says the move reflects the government's commitment to border security and safer communities. Now, over the last decade, the deportation of Nigerians to the United States has undergone significant shift in both volume and enforcement focus. Below is a breakdown of the frequency and the legal grounds used for these removals. In 2016 alone, roughly 240,255 total foreign nationals were deported, with Nigerians consistently ranking among the top African nations targeted for removal. Between 2021 and 2024, deportations stabilized but continued at a lower annual average. Interior removals focused primarily on those with aggravated felony convictions. Since January 2025, there's been an unprecedented surge. Recent reports indicate that over 3,690 Nigerians were placed on final removal orders as of early 2025, with deportation flights to West Africa tripling in frequency compared to the previous 4 years. The U.S. government categorizes removals into criminal grounds and immigration or status grounds. High-profile offenders, mandatory removal for severe crimes. This worst of the worst list includes individuals convicted of manslaughter, rape, narcotics trafficking, and significant fraud, prioritizing the permanent expulsion of violent threats from American neighborhoods. Most Nigerians face deportation for non-criminal status violations rather than felonies. These 3,600 plus individuals typically include those who overstayed visas, worked without authorization, or had asylum claims denied, forming the majority of the removals. Now, former Attorney General of leaving the U.S. back to Nigeria, former Attorney General Abubakar Malami and his son Abdulaziz have been remanded in DSS custody following their arraignment in court today in Abuja. The duo faces a 5-count charge of alleged terrorism financing and illegal firearms possession. The DSS accused Malami of abetting terrorism during his tenure by obstructing the prosecution of suspects. They were also found in an unlicensed firearm and ammunition at their Kebbi residence. Both pleaded not guilty, but Justice Joyce Abdul Malik denied an oral bail request, ordering a formal application instead. This follows Malami's recent arrest shortly after securing bail in a separate 8.7 billion naira money laundering case. The trial will resume on February the 20th. We'll go back to legal matters later on, but let's look at some bit of politics. The African Democratic Congress has raised an alarm over allegations of economic coercion by the ruling All Progressives Congress. Their opposition party claims that civil servants are being pressured to join the APC through its ongoing electronic membership registration exercise. While the APC has dismissed these claims as baseless, the controversy has sparked a fresh debate on the independence of the public service. News Central's Sagir Ibrahim has been closely following the matter and now gives an update.
The African Democratic Congress is raising alarm over what it describes as economic coercion by the ruling All Progressive Congress. Now, in a statement by the spokesperson of the ADC, Boluwaji Abdullahi, the party alleges that civil servants and government workers across several states are being pressured to join the APC. It claims that the APC's ongoing electronic membership registration exercise is being used as a tool to force public servants against their will, alleging that membership is being made a condition for job security, career advancement, and even the regular payment of salaries. Now, the ADC also argues that turning civil servants into what it describes as partisan hostages destroys the institutional integrity and the neutrality of the civil service. However, the ruling APC denies these allegations. The All Progressive Congress, in a statement by its spokesperson Felix Moka, however, debunked these claims. In the statement, the ruling party strongly denied the claims, describing them as baseless. The APC maintains that its e-registration drive is in fact voluntary and that the surge in membership is a reflection of genuine public support rather than an intimidation. Now, at this point, the ADC is yet to substantiate its claims with evidence, as onlookers await to see whether this is a serious situation or a case of political rhetoric. For now, all eyes remain in the polity to see what happens next. From the national headquarters of the All Progressive Congress in Abuja for News Central, Sagir Ibrahim.
Well, the All Progressives Congress has dismissed claims by the ADC that civil servants are being coerced into joining the ruling party. Now, you might be seeing someone's face during there briefly, but we'll get back to that conversation. The spokesman Felix Moka calls these allegations entirely baseless. He says the ADC is simply terrified by the massive success of the APC's electronic registration. Moka accused the opposition of running a disinformation campaign to undermine the party's groundbreaking digital membership reforms. The APC also alleged that the ADC fabricated a fake membership slip featuring a notorious terrorist. This was described as a desperate attempt to discredit a process that has seen millions register voluntarily and enthusiastically. Due to surging public demands, the APC has extended the registration deadline to February the 8th. That's just about 5 days from now, 2026. Well, I'm now being joined by that man, Mr. Felix Moka, spokesperson of the All Progressives Congress. Thank you for joining us. I've been looking forward to seeing you. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
You look like you're doing very well. But let's get to this matter. I mean, of course, we've seen circulating in the media space some forms that tell people to include where they work and age, their tax identification numbers. Now, some have argued that that's what the form is, the original form. But can you just tell us, what does the e-form really contain?
Thank you so much. Now, basically, the e-registration of our party, which, as you noted in your intro, is really groundbreaking. It's the first time that any political party that we know of would do that. And the idea is to really create a system that works, a system that's dependable, a system of record that enables us to plan effectively and coordinate our work, and to give members the opportunity to also, interact with the database of the party, be able to make changes to, whatever information they've supplied. But, coming to the details that are required for that process, it's really the NIN and, the voters, card information. Those are the two essential information. Nobody is asking anyone for their place of employment or any such thing. So the, suggestion by the ADC that our party was in some way, reaching to civil servants to compel them to register, that's absolutely nonsensical. And you can see, look, it's not enough just because you're in a position to throw allegations around.
Yeah.
If you allege, you must prove, you must show some substantiation. Not enough to just make wild, bogus allegations and hope that, it gains traction. It's really just needless. I think what ADC is trying to promote.
But then let me ask this question. So you're saying the most important information that's required is the NIN. as the national identification number, which is what is required for practically everything in Nigeria.
Correct.
But why the voter identification number? Why do you need that?
Why not? I mean, if you are a member of a political party, what's the idea? What's the essence? I mean, what's the ultimate value of membership of a party? It's to be able to exercise your franchise.
Yes.
To vote.
Yes.
So we also want to make sure that our members are people who are eligible to vote, which is why the minimum age of registration is 18 years, which is the same as is required to register to vote.
You can get that information from the NIN.
No, you can't. It's not included.
It's there.
No, it's not.
If you punch in the NIN, it will give you the biodata of the individual.
No, the biodata does not include. See, again, this database is ours.
Yes.
But we customize it to interact with NIN to be able to generate basic information to ensure the integrity of information that we have on our database.
Okay, but then if I may come in here, is it not possible to have gotten this exact age, the age of the member, of the would-be member? Yeah. It's not possible to get that exact age from a birth certificate or from other documents. His passport, driver's license can give you that information.
See, the NIN is Nigeria's,
data bank,
gold standard.
No, I'm saying that to say this: if you can get that information from the passport, international passport, for those that have
what information exactly?
You say you wanted to know the exact age to be sure the person up to 18 years.
No. I didn't say that. What I said was that the minimum age requirement to become eligible to register is 18 years.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying that we needed to verify that age.
Okay, but you how would you verify that age? From the VIN or from the NIN?
No, from the NIN. I mean,
so that's what I'm saying.
We don't handle the NIN.
Okay.
So Nigerians who have registered with the
NIN.
With NIN and who have been assigned numbers have all of that data captured already in the database, unless you're not registered.
Okay.
But if you're registered and you have an NIN, then all of that elementary data is already captured.
Yes.
So all we do is to link up to that, and we don't even access all of the information of that individual.
Yes.
It's just very limited information.
So why do you need the VIN, the voter identification number?
But I just answered that question. I just told you that
to exercise their franchise.
One, that the minimum age requirement is 18.
Yes.
Which is the voting age, right?
Okay.
So as members of a political party, I asked the question rhetorically, why even subscribe to membership of a political party if you don't have the authority to vote?
Yes.
So we want to make sure also that those who are members of the party
joining are actually members of
are members of the party and who are useful members of the party.
Okay.
Ultimately, because we're a political party, our primary business is to compete in elections and hopefully win. And we need members who help us do that. So there's nothing, special about that.
When wasn't the leadership of your party concerned that people will begin to think that collecting the voter identification number, you might want to rig the election?
How do you tell me how you do that?
I mean, how would I tell you? I don't know. I don't rig election.
You're an elite journalist, right? Tell me how you do that. You see, listen,
because that voter identification is needed for verification, right?
No. See, listen. The point here is that all we are interested in is to make sure that we have, a database of membership of people who are eligible by age and who, for our political, system, are also eligible to vote. I mean, what's the point having 1,000 members, whereas only 20 of them, can vote? You see, membership of a political party is not membership of a nightclub or a social club.
No, it's not.
It's a special,
it's like a special purpose vehicle.
And those who are subscribing understand that they are subscribing to a party, to the values and the tenets of a party, and with the intent of supporting the mission of that party. And our mission is to contest elections. Okay. And
Mr. Moka, you know that when you come to, I'm sorry, but I just want us to clear this. When you come to the polling unit, you use your voter identification, your card, your voter's card. It is put onto the card reader, and your number shows to say that you have come into that space. And you're saying that you're not concerned that you're now collecting the voters, and you don't think that anybody will assume that these numbers can be imputed into...
No. You see, people collect numbers, voters card numbers anyways. That's normal in the political system. Every party, the PDP, people collect in their districts. They collect numbers. Not because they want to do anything untoward. but because they want to establish that the individual is in fact eligible to vote.
Okay.
Because I mean, if I'm going to reach out to you, for example, to make a pitch to you, to sort of solicit your support.
Yes.
How do you do that when in fact you don't have a voter's card and you're not even eligible to?
But
run an election, right?
let's just leave that. How is it going so far?
It's going very well.
E-registration.
It's going very well. Which is why groups like the ADC are triggered, because they're awfully terrified, about the enthusiasm that this registration is drawing from Nigerians. Right now we're chasing 10 million members already.
Wow.
We're chasing 10 million.
Amazing.
Any day from now, before this ends, we surpass 10 million.
I can just assume that a lot of people are watching you now. I understand. It's all right.
So,
Mr. Moka,
my apologies.
Oh, no problem. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll just end here. You basically answered the question. We'll look out to bring you back. We'll have more time, but you've cleared the air. And I do trust and hope that this registration will extend beyond the 10 million mark. Thank you so much, Mr. Moka. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank
Absolutely.
you for coming
Thanks
in.
for having
I know
me.
you came in on a short notice, but thank you so much.
Right.
That was Mr. Felix Moka, the spokesperson for the All Progressives Congress, clearing the air that the VIN and all of that is not for anything but to be sure that you're eligible to vote. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
When we come back, we'll be looking at other matters. Nigerians to receive about 79 citizens from the US who have been deported for crimes and whatever, all manner of crimes. The details in a moment. Just stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're watching the 6th edition. Here's a recap of our top stories. The United States to deport about 79 Nigerians for various crimes. Court denies oral bail to former AGF at Malami and Son over alleged terrorism financing, firearm possession. Islamic State claims responsibility for deadly attack on Niamey Airport. Let's begin with education in the second part. The National Examination Council has released the results of the 2025 Senior School Certificate examinations, with more than 80% of the candidates recording 5 credits and above. Registrar and Chief Executive of NECO, Professor Dantani Ushishi, announced the results at the council's headquarters in Minna, Niger State. According to the council, a total of 96,979 candidates registered for 16 subjects, comprising 51,823 males and 45,156 females. Of that number, 95,160 candidates sat for the examination. In English language, 78.32% of candidates obtained a credit and above, while mathematics recorded a higher success rate with 91.35% achieving credit and above. Overall, 71.63% of candidates scored 5 credits and above, including English and mathematics, while 86.26% achieved 5 credits and above, irrespective of the 2 core subjects. The Bola Ahmed Tinubu ideological group has lauded the recent gains made by President Bola Tinubu in its recent trip to Turkey and several other countries. The group spoke to newsmen in Abuja, saying the measurable gains in security, defense cooperation, trade, and economic recovery has been visible, repositioning the country and ensuring that Nigerians reap the dividends of democracy as promised by the president. The convener of the group, Bamidele Atoyebi, says that Nigeria's global standing has been strengthened, with internal conditions being improved, as key indicators have shown that the country is moving on a steady upward trajectory, which has impacted positively on key sectors. The People's Democratic Party has set March the 28th and 29th of this year for its forthcoming elective national convention. This was as the party's Board of Trustees held its 85th minute in Abuja, reviewing the recent crisis in the party and the way forward for the PDP in the light of the recent Federal High Court judgment in Ibadan, Oyo State, which affirmed the Sam Anyanwu faction of the party as the authentic National Working Committee of the PDP. Our correspondent Amadine Uyi reports.
It was the first meeting of the People's Democratic Party Board of Trustees since the court judgment which affirmed the faction led by Samuel Anyanwu as the authentic National Working Committee of the party. Despite the meeting called at a short notice, It had a full attendance with representation from across the states of the Federation.
Our task at this meeting is not merely to review events, but to shape the pathway forward. With the legal fog lifting, attention must not shift to reconciliation, rebuilding trust. Attention must now shift to reconciliation, rebuilding trust, and laying the groundwork for orderly congresses and a credible national convention.
The task before us is enormous, but our resolve is strong. The PDP has once again demonstrated that it is a party governed by rules, guided by law, and capable of self-correction with unity of purpose and fidelity to our Constitution.
While the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, reaffirmed the PDP as Nigeria's only viable opposition, the spokesperson of the party announced dates agreed for the upcoming national convention.
This is the only opposition party we have in this country. Go to all the wars, all the units, all the heads what? Forget about this is a Cherewere. You know, party people, they come from here, they have no identity.
NEC approved and confirmed the following schedule of party congresses nationwide. World Congresses, February. Local government congresses, February. State congresses, March. NEC directed the National Caretaker Committee in collaboration with the National Organizing Secretary and relevant organs of the party to issue detailed guidelines, notices, and modalities for the conduct of the congresses in strict compliance with the PDP Constitution, INEC regulations, and judicial directives.
The leadership of the PDP pledged to unite the party, urging members to embrace peace, reconciliation, and unity. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Well, to discuss this matter, I'm being joined in the studio by Honorable Jugundo Haruna Mohammed, spokesperson for the PDP. Well, as they say, pro-wiki PDP. That's what some people say in the social space. But in our newsroom, we also have a member of the PDP, Mazi Nnamdi Dixon Irebu, a PDP chieftain. Thank you for joining us, Mazi.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening.
I'm sure you can hear me. So let me start with you. This situation is a clear situation of two brothers in a house fighting themselves, seeking to lead the family, but now instead of leading the family, they are fighting themselves. What will happen? Can they ever get that leadership in this kind of situation?
Thank you very much. If you say two brothers, yeah, you may not be completely wrong, but this situation as we're faced with the PDP is that the group that you, in your intro, introduced as the leadership of the party, these are people who were expelled from the party. Okay, so it's just that somehow the illegalities that surrounds our system allows this crop of people to still continue with the impersonation and all of that. That is the height of rascality, if you ask me. But the PDP, of course, you know, the judgment that came from Ibadan, we went to court, the party went to court to say there's a new leadership now, so that the court should compel INEC, right, to recognize this leadership. Well, the court has, opted not to do that, and that has been appealed. And of course, also a stay of execution also activated, So introducing these people.
If I may come in, if I may come in here, we're a law-abiding organization. I mean, if the court says something, until there's a counter judgment, we will have to follow what the court says before we are accused of contempt of court.
No. You see, let's get it right. You can't place something on nothing. This crop of so-called caretaker, they don't exist. Not by the books here. This is the constitution of the PDP.
But if you want to go by that, sorry, again for interrupting. If you want to go by that, there were at least two court judgments that asked the PDP to hold on with that convention that expelled these members, as you said, and produce a new leadership.
No.
When there are two court judgments to that effect?
The apex court in the land has already ruled that leadership of political parties is not justiciable. It's an internal issue of the party.
Okay.
So if a group now went to violate that very ruling or judgment from the Supreme Court, you expect us to take it and run with it, especially a group of people who have said that they are going to distract this party, hold the party down from possibly presenting a candidate in 2027. We couldn't sit back and watch them, derail the party. And the convention held according to the books, according to the constitution of the People's Democratic Party, at the 101 NEC of PDP. That convention date was announced. INEC was present. Everything about communicating to INEC concerning the convention was well done within the 21 days. INEC may have chosen not to attend. According to the Electoral Act, it's not compulsory. However, what is important is that the judgment from Ibadan has been appealed and the stay of execution also activated. So this group that are doing this, they are already, even the media is aware of their position. We are very much aware of the position of the leader of the group, Nyesom Wike, who says that he's going to support the current administration to continue in 2027. We don't have a challenge with that. But we as a political party, we're saying that the party will present an alternative to what we are having. And that is what they are doing everything possible to scuttle. So giving them these accolades or recognitions, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a matter of time. They would definitely take their position as according to law, because this illegality cannot stand. They cannot.
Okay, Mazi Regbu, we will take a moment, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get you to weigh in on this. Audience, please do stay with us. Welcome back. I still have the two PDP chieftains here. One is the spokesperson for the, forgive me, what Nigerians know as the pro-Wike faction of the PDP, Honorable Jugundo Haruna Mohammed, and the other is a chieftain of the PDP, Mazi Nnamdi Dixon Irebu. Before we went on that break, Mazi Nnamdi Irebu had said some things about what needed to be done, and that they went in line with the law and the party's constitution, standing on the grounds that the Supreme Court had given a ruling that leadership or convention is an internal party matter. But let's bring in Honorable Mohammed here. Honorable Mohammed, you've heard Mazi Irebu, Dixon Irebu.
Yes.
And what do you say? Because if we're going by that, he's saying that INEC was, the whole matter started from that convention. And he's saying that that convention has expelled these people who are claiming to be the leadership of the party. And going by the constitution here, I mean by the Electoral Act, it says INEC needs to be informed 21 days. And he's claiming that INEC was informed. Then he says here, INEC acts as a regulatory observer rather than a participant. Under Section 85 of the Electoral Act, parties must give INEC notice, 21-day notice. INEC is empowered to verify that primaries and conventions comply with the law. INEC cannot dictate leadership or interfere, but they can refuse to recognize actions taken in violation of the Constitution of the Electoral Act. And from what he says, they went by the Electoral Act. They notified INEC. In summary, INEC does not need to directly run the convention, but it is legally mandated to be notified and typically sends officials to monitor compliance. So INEC could decide, if we want to go by that word, typically, INEC could decide not to send monitors.
Yes.
But they must be notified.
I have listened to him and I have listened to you as well. I saw him holding the PDP constitution. Unfortunately, at times, if not all the times, supporters of the Kabiru Tanimu group usually read the law upside down. He said they complied with the constitution of the party. That same constitution of the party gave the right to every member of the party to vote and be voted for. Alhaji Sule Lamido went to contest. He was denied the opportunity to contest that election. And he took that matter to the court.
But it was alleged that he didn't come in time.
Wait, the issue, it is an electoral requirement that you publish timetable as regards any democratic process that you intend to do. In the court, they were asked, where is your publication that you intend to sell forms beginning from so-so-so date and close it so-so-so date? Where is the publication where any interested member of the party will go and make payment, the bank and the amount? I can tell you, in the court, they could not produce any credible evidence to substantiate the claim that they had published all these things. And the court said, no, without this publication, you cannot say Alhaji Sule Lamido was aware of the date for the commencement and the date for the closing. So that aside, the court, the issue of Alhaji Sule Lamido, you cannot regard issue of fundamental human rights of a party member as an internal affair of the party. This is one aspect of the case. The other aspect of the case was not also the question of leadership. The case taken to court by Austin and 2 others was not a leadership question. We need to get this very clear. It wasn't a leadership question. They should go. I keep on saying they have never read that judgment.
Well, what was the case?
The case was strictly asking the court to mandate INEC not to accept anything from that planned convention until certain conditions are met. And part of those conditions includes the mandatory 21 days notice as provided by the Electoral Act. And I can tell you that when they speak, they don't read the affidavits, they don't read the originating summons and counter affidavits. INEC, in their own reply, admitted that they were not in receipt of a valid 21 days notice. And there is nothing Kabiru Tanimu and co could do. They were in the court. If they said they did all these things in compliance with the court, were they not represented in the court? Did they not place all these material facts before the judge? So the issues that we went to court was never a question of who was the leader of PDP, who was the secretary and what. Okay, it was an issue between aggrieved members of the party who felt that certain regulatory requirements were not complied with, particularly those that pertains to INEC. And therefore, they now sought the indulgence of the court.
We understand that we don't have to. Both of you have spoken right now. So in 30 seconds, what is the way forward to sort out this family? It's a family matter. It's a family affair, right? Both of you at least agree that you are bearing the same name, PDP. So what is the way forward for this family? Let me start with you.
Well, the court have decided and resolved the matter. I don't know why they are so obsessed with everything Ibadan. Failed convention, Ibadan. Failed state high court judgment, Ibadan. Failed federal high court judgment, Ibadan. And today, they open one building they called PDP Secretariat. At the end of the day, write it and pin it. That secretariat they call PDP will turn and become a factory for shoemakers, and the other part of the building will become the office for the Union of Road Transport Workers.
Sound like a solution.
Everything for Ibadan will fall like part of cards.
Mazi Dixon Iregu, please. What's the way forward for the party in 30 seconds, please?
The way forward is that the party is not going to be distracted. The leadership of the party is clear. KT Turaki is the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party. And all cases in court is being followed. Of course, that will be exhausted. Then those who have been expelled from the party remain expelled. And they can continue deceiving themselves and all of that. But the times will be very clear in the near future who the true leaders of the party, is. And then the PDP will get back on track and then present the right alternative to the ruins that we're facing today, which this crop of people that are claiming to be members of the party are upholding. They are supporting these ills in our country. Because you can't say you're a member of the People's Democratic Party and you're supporting the APC, even publicly. Come on. Well, this is not a banana republic. Nigeria is not a jungle. People should respect that there are rules that applies to these things that we are doing. Please, by everything possible, PDP will survive this crisis.
I would personally, and I'll talk to the producer, I want to beg the two of you to please give us another opportunity to have you come in, because we need to exhaust this matter of how to sort out this family, because the electorate is wondering, where do we go from here? I know an old woman who has been asking, where is this PDP that we have known for a long time? Please. Thank you so much. We had Honorable Jungudo Haruna Mohammed, PDP spokesperson, and in the newsroom we had Mazi Nnamdi Dixon Iregu, also a PDP member. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in this evening. The Nigeria International Energy Summit is focusing on global policy convergence and international energy leadership as it enters its second day. The gathering, which has in attendance top leaders in the energy sector, including Vice President Kashim Shettima and Gambian President Adama Barrow, with representatives from some African countries. Discussions continued on cooperation and shared energy priorities.
The theme of this year's summit, Energy for Peace and Prosperity, speaks directly to Nigeria's vision. Energy must unite communities, stabilize economies, and secure futures. It must power factories, illuminate homes, fuel innovation, and build trust between government, investors, and citizens. Nigeria stands ready to collaborate with Africa, global partners, and the private sector to deliver energy that is secure, affordable, cleaner, and inclusive.
For us, the path to peace and prosperity in Africa is inseparable from the path to energy security. Therefore, Nigeria's leadership role in convening this summit.
Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima and the Gambian President Adama Barrow. We'll take a moment and when we'll come back, we'll be moving on to see what's going on in the other part of Africa. To stay with us. Well, the 6th edition continues in West Africa, where reports have it that Islamic State has claimed responsibility for a rare assault on Diori Hamani International Airport and the adjacent Airbase 101 in Niamey, Niger's capital, in a surprise and coordinated attack. The overnight assault on January 29th involved explosions and heavy gunfire that damaged several military and civilian aircraft, including at least one helicopter. Government forces supported by Nigerian troops and Russian personnel repelled the attackers, killing about 20 and wounding 4 soldiers, with 11 militants captured. Nigerian authorities condemned the attack amid wider jihadist violence in the Sahel. The Rafah border crossing between Gaza and Egypt has partially reopened, allowing a small number of injured Palestinians to leave the territory for medical treatment. The limited reopening comes amid mounting international pressure to ease Gaza's humanitarian crisis, as officials warn of tens of thousands remaining in urgent need of care. Our report looks at what this cautious step means on the ground. For News Central, senior international correspondent Afia Hagen reports.
الأمور كانت صعبة جدا جدا، وين ما جاء تفتيش وين ما تحديدا كل الحاجات، وخاصة عند الجيش تغلبنا كثير، بنفل الشنط كده وعاودوا برجعوهم تاني، يعني تتعرض لعدة يعني أماكن تتفتش فيها، مش مرة ومرتين، عدة أماكن ونفس الحاجة بنفلوها كده وبرجعوها تاني.
يحرمون أولادنا، بدهم مش هنا نرجع على غزة، بدهم مش عدد كبير ولا إنه يرجع، بدهم عدد كبير إنه يطلع، بس كل إشي ممنوع. أخذ أغراضكم، ممنوع أكل، ممنوع المي، ممنوع عطر، ممنوع أي إشي عد غزة، ممنوع. أولادنا ما قدرنا نجيب لهم أي إشي نفرحهم فيه، ما قدرناش، ما سمحونا نعد أي إشي، ما سمحونا ولا إشي، إنهم كل إشي فضوا منا تكتكونا هيك وعدونا، ما سمحونا غير الهدوم نعديها معانا بشنطة واحدة لكل شخص بس.
Okay, just before we go, interesting times around the world, but just before we go, we need to step back a bit to a right of reply to the African Democratic Congress. Remember that story we told you earlier about the statement that the APC is forcing civil servants to register and become members of the APC. Well, we do have a member of the ADC here, that's African Democratic Congress. We do have a member of the ADC here and a former Director General of the Radio Nigeria, or Voice of Nigeria, Mr. Ladani Salihu. He is here to join. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here for the first time.
Indeed, it's good to have you. I mean, interesting time. And you came at a very interesting time. So you're here for that right of reply. yes, your party alleged that the PDP was forcing civil servants to join. We've had the spokesperson of the APC here. He just left a few minutes ago, and he talked about the fact that no, they don't read that. That the only thing that's required from Nigerians who want to be members of the APC is their NIN and the VIN, that's a voter identification number, and the national identification number, because they want to be sure that you are 18 years before you join the party. How is that anything wrong?
There will always be alibis and innuendos and excuses and all manner of characterization of, what was clearly, a coercion by, APC leadership across the country, asking civil servants to, come on their backbone, and failure to do so will be tantamount to, will be tantamount to what? To disrespecting the party, and therefore there's the likelihood of punishment for doing so. It is unacceptable in a democracy. Look, we always believe that they will come and
directive?
defend that
Usually in the
situation.
civil service, there's something like a memo that goes out. Is there a memo to that effect?
I have, we have a list in Lagos from Ikorodu to Lagos Island, mainland, Ikeja, most, if not all, of the local governments in Lagos with numbers. They are in my phone. I can share it with you.
Okay, we can share that later.
When public servants were coerced, your refusal to register in that backbone makes you almost literally stigmatized, and then you are seen to be anti-APC. Civil servants, let me put it on record, are free to join any party of their choice. That is a guaranteed fundamental human rights under our own constitution, and it is an international, ethics and ethos of democracy. But if a party, whichever party, decides to say, okay, come and register with us, and your refusal to register with our brand makes you culpable, makes you, open to sanctions as a public servant, it's unacceptable. And like I said, I'll probably need to ask one of your, producers to bring my phone, and I will share this with you and with the public. There's a tweet to that effect. So from the eastern part of the country. A tweet where somebody explicitly stated so, and with a lot of likes and retweets, all right? And then in the Lagos state case, I can share with you and with the audience the number of people registered per local government, and most of them reported to us that, they were being coerced. And we don't expect the APC to come and say this did not happen. This happened not because we coerced them, no, but because it is out of their free will. No, it wasn't. And
but in this day and age of AI and all of that, is it not possible that those tweets and documents that were forwarded could have been AI generated?
You see, the trademark of the APC, from the time of its conception to the time of campaigns and elections in 2023 and to this moment that we're talking about, everything that has to do with electoral fraud and foul play, as far as the ADC is concerned, as far as the opposition is concerned, is orchestrated, masterminded, sponsored by the APC. Why, you want to ask me? It's simply because they've run out of ideas and they are looking for ways and, to win election by any means, fair or foul. Okay. So they will come up with a lot of excuses. Okay. These things were things that we people complained to us.
We hear you, and we would love to carry on this conversation. If you don't mind, we'd like you to come back. You share this information with us. We would return to this again, maybe tomorrow or the next tomorrow.
Absolutely.
But the producers will get in touch with you ahead of time so that you prepare and cover this. That's after you share the information, so that we can also, so that as you're talking, what we want to do is to put up this information for the viewers and the world to see that this is what it is.
Well, suffice it to say that, the APC believes that such practices are inconsistent with the norms, practices, and values of democracy and must be condemned and must not be encouraged.
We agree with you. Thank you so much for coming in this evening. Mr. Ladani Saliu is a chieftain of the African Democratic Congress and also a former Director General of the Voice of Nigeria?
Federal Radio
Corporation of Nigeria. Thank you once
again. So I'm your colleague, literally.
My senior colleague. Thank you so much. And that's it on the 6th edition for today. I want to thank you for letting us be a part of your evening, but we'd like to hear from you. Send us your comments or eyewitness report. Send it to the WhatsApp number showing on your screen, +234 705 500 1212. You can follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV on all the social media platforms, where you can also watch us live. Plus, watch us on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. As we said, we'll get back to this story about coercion or no coercion. Thank you once again.